Hello, welcome dear students. In this video, we are going to solve a planning and investigation question for May-June 2017, paper 6, variant 1, question number 5. A student is investigating whether the resistance of a wire depends upon material from which the wire is made. Resistance R is given by equation V over I. The following apparatus is available. Ammeter, we will use it. Voltmeter, we will use it. Micrometer screw gauge, it is just to make sure the diameter of the wires are same. Power supply, we will use it. Variable resistor, we may use for precaution, but usually I do not use it. Switch, we will use it. Connecting leads, we will use. Wires with different materials, we will be using them. So plan an experiment to investigate whether the resistance of a wire depends upon material. So this is actually your question. So what is the question? You can underline dependent and independent variables. So over here, your dependent variable is resistance of wire. And your independent is the material of wire. Before you go ahead or do anything, please go make 2 tabs, define the problem by writing dependent and independent variable. Independent variable and dependent variable. This is actually a requirement from the Cambridge. I keep attending Cambridge workshops for the exam correction. So this is the most important point you have to keep in your mind. Now, your independent variable, which they told you, is the material of the wire. Dependent variable is resistance R of wire. So after defining the problem, we proceed to the next question, what they are asking you. Okay, so you must draw the diagram. So let's draw the diagram, my dear students. Over here, you first make a power supply connected to a switch. Then after switch, you will make an ammeter to measure current. And over here, we need to make a resistance wire. So the resistance wire, I will make a little bit thick between these two connecting leads. The junction is here and junction is here. So between these two junctions, I'm going to make a little bit thick. I'll label this as resistance wire. Now over here, we need to connect an ammeter, a voltmeter, labeled V. Okay, so this is power supply. This is switch, ammeter, voltmeter. I'm not using the variable resistor at all, so let's go ahead to the next section. So diagram done. After the circuit diagram, let's see what's the next point. Briefly explain. So whenever you are briefly explaining, you have to include the measurements in the question. So you write a tab called method, or you can label this as procedure. What you have to do, you will say, I will set up the circuit as shown in diagram. This point is just to start the question, okay? Now, the main points are here. I will measure current I in the wire using ammeter and potential difference V across the wire using voltmeter. Your next will be, I will calculate resistance R of wire using R is equals to V over I. Next point, you will write, I will repeat, experiment for other wires of different material. Okay, with this, the method is done. Now we have to go for the next state, the key variables to be controlled. So write a tab, dear students, like that. Key variables to be controlled. You will write like this: to make the investigation fair, I will keep same length of wire, same diameter of wire using micrometer screw gauge. After that, you will write the next point, the table. Again, make a tab. So for the table, as I told you, you can write a sentence first that I will write readings and results in the table. So you will make the table empty. So as you know that you are investigating the nature of material or type of wire, you are measuring the voltage V, you are measuring the current I, and you are calculating the resistance I. You will make an empty table without filling anything. If they ask you give the suitable names of metals, you can give them, like copper, aluminum wire, steel wire. So you can mention, but they did not ask, no need to say. So with this, you got the table. And now I want you to write a conclusion statement always to ensure you get 7 out of 7 marks. So the sentence is, I will plot a bar graph. Now, why a bar graph here? Because your independent variable on x-axis doesn't have values. It's just a name. So bar graph of resistance R against the type of material and see the trend. So with this, you can get 7 out of 7, but make sure you count before you go ahead. So you have 1 mark for the label diagram, 1 mark to define the problem, 1 mark to measure current and voltage, 1 mark to calculate the resistance, and you have 1 mark for the key variables, 1 mark for the table, and 1 mark for conclusion. I will ensure that you also write an extra precaution for all electricity experiments. As I always tell you, that you should not put your marks on risk. You will say, I will use low current to prevent wire being too hot. So this will also guarantee you 1 mark. Never close the question until you are satisfied that you're going to get the full mark. So there are more points, like as many you want as you can write. So with this question is done. See you for the next planning and investigation question. If you have any suggestion what type of questions you want to solve, let me know. Take care. Bye-bye.